The only reason is because of this recent podcast that I listened to is with GSP and Joe Rogan. Just listening to the way that he talked about fighting and the way that and why he would come back if he were to come back. One of the things was he just got back to the gym after not having trained for a while during COVID. And one of the coaches there at where he trains basically said to him, dude, you've got the hands, your hands are back. Like it's looking good. And he's like, dude, if Khabib came up right now, I would take that fight now. So it's got less to do with the money for him in that sense, and more to do with I'm going to test myself. I'm at that stage. I'm still prime. I can still beat the alpha. I can still beat that top dog. But obviously, money needs to be there. I'm not going to put my name, my reputation, everything, because everything. Remember, his health as well. But remember, all the income a fighter makes after their career is based on the success they had during the career. So
like most athletes,
like most athletes, exactly. So you don't want to damage your legacy, because one loss, who's going to be interested in you? No one. You're just going to be some has-been fighter. It's bad to say, and as much as we wish this wasn't the case, as soon as someone loses, I mean, look at Adesanya. We haven't heard about him in how many weeks now since he lost. And it's not his, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not his fault. I mean, he did go up a weight class, but he lost. And the only time we're going to start talking about him again is when he makes a big splash. That's just how it works in the fight world. It's all about entertainment. The people that are there to watch are the people that are going to pay, and that's who you're trying to entertain. And that's why there's a lot of controversy around fights going to the ground and fights going, wrestling. That's why wrestling, normal Greco wrestling became the WWE, the WWF, because the original wrestling that they were doing, the fights were just too long and people were injuring themselves, like career-ending injuries during those wrestling tournaments or those fights that were supposed to be entertaining. It wasn't a very good business model. So eventually they started to change things up. They had to choreograph things. They had to make storylines. So in the end, it is all about the money in the long run, because it is your career, but you do start out with a hungerness, and that, according to GSP, that hungerness doesn't go away. He wants to still measure himself, even today. Even he would come out of retirement to fight Khabib if he was asked at the right moment, and that's passion. That's got nothing to do with money.
So yeah, I mean, you could see that with people like Derek Lewis. Put anyone in front, he's like, just send me a name and we'll schedule it in. He's like, I just want to fight. Book it next week. He really doesn't care. He's like, if he gets a chance to fight, I mean, when he found out that John Jones wanted 50 million, he's like, shit, I'll do it for 8. he's like, I don't care.
Donald Cerrone, dude. Donald Cerrone will take anyone. He'll take any fight that comes along, and he doesn't need the money. He just loves fighting. So to say
for the love of God, Sean, it's for the love of the fight.
So you say that. Now, here's the flip side of the coin. This is what Connor said in one of his posts was, if I gave one of the fighters in the UFC a week of my wages, none of them would fight again.
You'd never see them again, 100%.
So I don't know how true that is, but I mean, I think a lot of them still have that hunger to fight.